Over 2,000 years ago in ancient Greece, a blind poet known as Homer, along with the most famous authors, playwrights, and historians day, would record the tales known to us as Greek mythology. They would speak of the great heroes of the land, the mighty gods of Olympus, and the mortal men and women who were unfortunate enough to get in their way. But who was Zeus, and why did he wage a war against his own father, and send a great flood to wipe out humanity? How was mankind created by Prometheus, and why were the horrors of the world unleashed from Pandora's box? What awaited the souls of the dead in the realm of Hades, and how were monsters such as the Hydra, the Cyclops, and Medusa slain by famous heroes? From the 12 labors of Hercules to the Trojan War, this is the entire story of Greek mythology. In the beginning, there was only chaos, a great void of emptiness. But from the chaos sprung Gaia, Earth, as well as Eros' love. They were then joined by night and day, who would put an end to the reign of Arachne. With the eternal cycle of dusk and dawn emerging, lastly would come Tartarus, the deepest depths of the world, where condemned souls would be sent punishment. But these would not be the only primordial beings to emerge, for Gaia would birth one more. Uranus, the sky. The two would then unite and produce 12 children, 6 sons and 6 daughters. These children would be known as the Titans. Among them was Oceanus, a great river that encircled the world. He would be joined by his brother Hyperion, the sun, who would ride his great chariot across the sky, shining light down upon the earth. But when day became night, his daughter Selene, the moon, would emerge, shining her light into the darkness. But Uranus was a cruel father to the Titans, locking his children deep within the earth. To escape, they would look to their mother Gaia, who fashioned an indestructible sickle that she gifted to her youngest and strongest son Cronus. Cronus would patiently wait, and when Uranus came to lie with his mother, he would jump out and slice off his father's genitals, which fell into the sea. From them would spawn Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty, and the first of a new generation. Having defeated his father Uranus with the sickle, Cronus would take his place as ruler of the world. But his reign was not to last, as Cronus would have 3 sons and 3 daughters with his sister Rhea, with these children becoming known as the gods. Cronus, however, was just as cruel as his own father, and having recently been informed that one of his children was prophesied to overthrow him, would swallow each of them whole as they were born. Only one would escape this horrible fate, with Zeus, the youngest of his children, being saved by his mother Rhea. Not wanting to lose her last child, Rhea would hide Zeus on Mount Ida in Crete, and instead feed her husband, dressed in infant's clothing, with the Titan consuming it none the wiser. Zeus would be raised by his grandmother Gaia on the island, being hidden away until he reached manhood and was strong enough to challenge his father. When the time came, Zeus would return, striking down Cronus and releasing his siblings from his father's stomach. With his brothers and sisters now at his side, Zeus would wage war for 10 long years against the Titans, releasing from the depths of the earth the 100-handed giants, as well as the Cyclops, legendary craftsmen who would force a mighty thunderbolt, Poseidon a trident, and Hades a hat of invisibility, turning the tide of the war. With the Titans defeated, Zeus would imprison them in Tartarus, deep within the earth, where they would remain in torment for eternity. Having led the Titans in battle, a special punishment was reserved for Atlas, who was cursed to hold the sky on his shoulders forever. Only a few Titans would escape punishment, with Themis, the Titan of law and order, and her son Prometheus, who had allied with Zeus at the start of the conflict, being pardoned and allowed to live their lives amongst the gods. With the world now free of the Titans' rule, the 3 brothers Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades would decide what realm each would claim, with Zeus receiving the sky, Poseidon, the sea, Hades the underworld, where the spirits of the dead would reside. Taking up home on Mount Olympus, Zeus and his fellow gods would become known as the 12 Olympians, ruling over mortals and monsters alike.